Welcome everybody to Live Interactive English. I'm Shane.
And I'm Karen. Today we're looking at part 2 of the Wonders of Reykjavik. So last time we already learned quite a few great things about Reykjavik.
Like we know, Reykjavik is the capital city of Iceland.
That's right. And today, I guess we're going to learn more interesting things about Iceland, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but there are a lot of interesting things about Iceland.
There's some really cool trivia and some fun facts.
Yes,
right?
I was Googling Iceland and then some fun facts.
Me too.
Some of them are really, really interesting.
What did you learn? What did you learn?
Okay, did you know that only 2 places in the world do not have mosquitoes? And that is Antarctica and Iceland.
Oh, that's enough reason for me to move there. No mosquitoes.
That's right, and also they don't have snakes and poisonous spiders either.
Ooh, do you know what they also don't have?
What?
No McDonald's.
What? They don't have McDonald's?
What?
So if I want to have a hamburger like McDonald's hamburger, then I can't.
You're out of luck. Sorry.
Oh, wow, okay. And did you know alcohol? Well, I don't think if it's alcohol in general or just beer, but I think beer was illegal before 1989.
Really?
Yeah.
So you couldn't drink there? Oh, that's kind of interesting. Okay, well, I think we're going to learn a lot more facts coming up here in part 2. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
A great time to visit Reykjavik is in the summer, when Iceland can get over 21 hours of daylight. Under such conditions, why not visit the popular locations during the night and avoid the crowds? Start your evening tour at Hallgrímskirkja, which is open until 9 p.m. from May to September. Named after a famous local poet, this impressive 75-meter-high church houses a giant organ that has over 5,000 pipes. Next, take a walk along the north coast of Reykjavik and check out 2 of the city's most famous landmarks. First, there is the Sun Voyager, an outdoor steel sculpture created by Jon Gunnar Arneson. This work of art resembles a Viking ship and was made to honor the sun. From there, head to the Harpa Concert Hall and be amazed by the structure's distinctive glass brick design.
We're looking at part 2 of the Wonders of Reykjavik today, right?
Okay, it's pretty wonderful, isn't it?
More interesting things to learn.
All right,
Okay.
let's get started.
All right.
A great time to visit Reykjavik is in the summer, when Iceland can get over 21 hours of daylight.
Wait a second, 21 hours of daylight? So that means they only have like 3 hours of nighttime.
Right, it's only dark for 3 hours.
That's crazy.
Right, because it's so far north.
Yeah,
right?
I guess you're right. So for people who really like to, stay up and then go party and do things, maybe they can go to Iceland.
Right, and it
in the
probably
summertime.
could save a lot of money on electricity because you don't have to turn on the lights, really.
Ah, you are right.
It stays light all day.
Okay.
Basically. Okay.
Very interesting.
Under such conditions, why not visit the popular locations during the night and avoid the crowds?
Ah, okay.
So they only have 3 hours though during the night.
Exactly. Okay, let's continue. Start your evening tour at Hallgrímskirkja, which is open until 9 p.m. from May to September, named after a famous local poet. This impressive 75-meter-high church houses a giant organ that has over 5,000 pipes. So we're talking about the famous poet. A poet basically is someone who writes poems, right?
Exactly. And there's an organ that has 5,000 pipes.
That's right. So an organ, a giant organ, is a musical instrument, very similar to like a keyboard or piano. And that's right. And then they also have a lot of pipes. Okay, that's very interesting.
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
Next, take a walk along the north coast of Reykjavik and check out 2 of the city's most famous landmarks.
Ooh, I love visiting landmarks when I go travel to different countries.
Well, what is a landmark, Karen?
Well, a landmark is a noun, and basically that just means like a structure or like a famous place that is really important in history. So a lot of people like to go there. We also can call them like, tourist attractions because a lot of people want to go travel and go see the important landmarks. So in our example sentence, it says the CN Tower is a famous landmark in Toronto, and that is my hometown.
Wow, so you've been there, I suppose.
Of course, many, many times. And Empire State Building is a famous landmark in New York.
Right, and in Taipei.
Taipei 101.
Right. Okay, let's continue. First, there is the Sun Voyager, an outdoor steel sculpture created by Jon Gunnar Arnesen.
Ooh, very good.
Well, thank you. This work of art resembles a Viking ship and was made to honor the sun. Okay, so we have a vocabulary word, sculpture, and this is a noun. So a sculpture is something that's been made out of wood or stone or metal, and it's shaped into the shape of really could be anything. Like often we will see sculptures of like people or animals, but you could have the sculpture of like a boat, for example.
That's right.
Which we have here. Our example sentence, there is a large sculpture of a whale in front of the museum.
Awesome. Okay, and resemble is our next vocabulary word, and that is a verb. So when you say something resembles something, what you're saying is that something looks like something, right? Okay, so for example, this book's story resembles that of one I read when I was a child. So it sounds like, or something, the content is similar, right?
You resemble an ex-girlfriend that I have.
Really?
Yeah,
But I'm sure I'm prettier.
Oh, of course. Okay, let me continue reading.
Okay.
From there, head to Harpa Concert Hall and be amazed by the structure's distinctive glass brick design.
Ah, so that means it has glass and brick?
Right, I guess that's what glass brick design means. And it's going to be amazing.
So that sounds like a really, really cool architecture, right? Like a cool building to see. So I guess in Iceland, there are many, many different kind of landmarks that people would go and visit, right?
Yes, there's lots of tourist destinations that you can go check out.
Definitely. Well, how about let's take a short break and we'll be back for more.
Okay, see you soon.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Tina。要去雷克雅维克旅行，很适合夏天去，因为冰岛在这个季节可以有超过21个小时的日照。在这样的条件下，何不选在夜间游览这些热门的景点，来避开人群呢？课文推荐夜间之旅的第一站——哈尔格里姆教堂。这座教堂是以当地一位著名的诗人的名字命名的。里面有一个巨大的管风琴，拥有5000多根的管子。接下来，你可以沿着雷克雅维克的北海岸散步，去看看这座城市最著名的2个地标，一个是太阳航海者的户外钢雕，钢雕就是钢制的雕塑品。这件艺术品类似一个维京船，这是为了向太阳致敬而建造的。另一个是哈帕音乐厅。这个建筑物有着独特的玻璃砖设计。我们来看单字 landmark， 这是一个名词，表示地标、里程碑。Sculpture 是名词，雕塑品或者是雕刻艺术。Resemble 是一个动词，与什么相似的、相像的。这边有4个重点，接着我们进入文法时间。
好，我们来看第一个重点是 under such conditions， 这是表达在这种情况下。Condition 在这边表示情况条件，当这个意思时，固定用复数型。例如 ，The workplace is dirty, dark, and dangerous. No one wants to work under such conditions. 那个工作场所又脏又暗又危险，没有人想要在这样的条件下工作。下一个重点是 why not， 表示提议。之后呢是接原形动词，意思呢就相当于 Why don't you 加上原形动词。举例来说 This board game is fun and easy to learn. Why not give it a try? 这款桌游有趣又容易学，何不尝试看看呢？好，我们再来看到是分词构句的用法。我们用对等连接词连接两个主词相同的子句时，可以省略连接词，还有省略其中一句的主词，再把那一句的动词改分词。当这个动词是主动，我们就用现在分词 VING； 被动就用过去分词 PP。举例来说 ，Moved by the story.Nicole decided to adapt it into a movie. 受到那个故事感动 ，Nicole 决定将它改编成电影。那我们句中就是省略了连接词，还有前半句这个 moved 就是由 she was moved 简化而来的哦。好，再来看到 somebody or something be named after 点点点是表达以什么为某人或某事物来命名。name 在这边是当动词，就是表达为什么命名。举例来说 ，The building will be named after the mayor. 那栋建筑物将以市长的名字来命名。好，接回课文中。
After you're finished sightseeing, take in the scenery of Iceland under the midnight sun. Just minutes away from the city center, the Grota Lighthouse is the perfect place to enjoy magical views of glacial ice sheets, endless oceans, and Reykjavik's urban landscape bathed in yellow, orange, and red light. With amazing sights, striking buildings, and neighboring nature, Reykjavik is a remarkable place. A trip to the Icelandic capital is truly unlike any other.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so we're here to learn more about Reykjavik, right?
All right, we've been sightseeing and seeing all those really cool landmarks.
That's right.
Right. Let's see what else we can do.
Okay.
After you're finished sightseeing, take in the scenery of Iceland under the midnight sun. Ooh, that sounds cool, right? Under the midnight sun. You know why they call it the midnight sun?
Because it's got 21 hours of daytime.
Right, because at midnight, the sun is still up.
Exactly.
At midnight.
And you don't really see that anywhere else in the world, do you?
No.
Probably
well, not many places.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Okay, so our next vocabulary word is sightseeing, and that is a noun. So sightseeing basically just means like an activity of people going to different interesting places and see what's going on. So a lot of people like to go sightseeing when they go travel. So when I go to Thailand, when I go to Japan, I want to see the beautiful landmarks. I want to see the interesting places. Then I would want to go sightseeing.
It's like sometimes when you're seeing like some landmarks, you can say those are the sights that you're seeing, right?
That's
Those are sights, right?
Exactly.
So to see the sights.
So for example, we plan to go sightseeing in the afternoon. Good plan. Cool. Okay, let's continue. Please. Just minutes away from the city center, the Grota Lighthouse is the perfect place to enjoy magical views of glacial ice sheets, endless oceans, and Reykjavik's urban landscape bathed in yellow, orange, and red light. Wow.
Because the sun is like pretty low, so it's almost like a sunset that lasts for a long time, for hours.
I love sunsets.
Yeah. Well, so if you love sunsets, it sounds like the perfect place to go.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay, so we have this word landscape. So landscape is just talking about what you see when you see the land. Usually we mean by looking at it as a view, and we're viewing it, and the landscape is just all the things that you can see, like the mountains and just whatever.
Rivers, lakes.
Right, whatever you can see of the land is called the landscape. For example, you can say, because of this area's desert landscape, many movies are filmed here.
And I think Iceland is also a very popular spot for Hollywood movies too.
Is that true?
I think so, because I read it online. You know, it's because of the beautiful scenery, and of course, a lot of people want to capture that on film.
Oh, so you can capture it with your own eyes if you go there.
You're definitely right.
With amazing sights, striking buildings, and neighboring nature, Reykjavik is a remarkable place. A trip to the Icelandic capital is truly unlike any other.
And, from these articles, I really learned a lot about Iceland and Reykjavik. I didn't know anything about it. I just thought, okay, maybe it's a place full of ice that is very, very cold and nothing to do. But after learning about Iceland, I think it's actually a really beautiful place and very unique, very different from all the places that I've been to.
And it sounds like they have quite an interesting culture too. I think just being in such an interesting place, I think the people there and the culture is also going to be quite interesting.
That's right.
Like I also found online that you know that there are 100 words for wind.
You're kidding me.
Right? So just talk about
Really?
wind. You don't just say there's some wind now. There's 100 different words to describe the kind of wind that is there.
That is pretty cool.
That means it must be pretty windy there.
You're right.
Right.
And I also read another interesting fact is that a lot of people love to read in Iceland. So 1 out of 10 Icelanders will publish a book in their lifetime because I love to read so much, and then maybe they ended up like writing their own books.
That's incredible. Really, you have 10 people in a room, one of them has published a book.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Very interesting. Okay, so in the end, we do have a what do you think question, right? So can I ask you and then you can ask me?
Okay, sure.
Okay, if you were to go to Reykjavik, how would you spend your time there? If you've been there before, how did you spend your time there? I mean, you've never been there, right?
I have never been there.
Okay, so how would you spend your time there?
If I were to go to Reykjavik, I think I'm just most interested in looking at I want to see the midnight sun. I'm really excited, I think to be in the hot springs and to just be there under like a sunset that lasts for hours and just relax. And it's cold around me, but I'm in the hot water, and it just sounds kind of like a paradise.
Okay, actually, I was going to say the same thing because I really like the outdoor hot springs, and I love the sunsets too. I think that would be a wonderful trip.
Okay, so we have the same idea. High five.
High five. Okay, well, I guess that's all the time we have for today, though.
Okay.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Hope you learned a lot about Reykjavik.
And maybe we will all pay a visit one day.
We'll see you in the hot springs.
All right.
在结束观光之后，你可以在午夜的阳光下欣赏冰岛的风景。半夜12点都还有阳光，景色一定很梦幻。课文推荐我们去格罗塔灯塔欣赏这个神奇的景色。可以看到雷克雅维克的城市景观沐浴在黄色、橙色、红色的光线里。我们来看单字 sightseeing， 是一个名词，游览、观光。Landscape 在这里是名词，指的是陆地上的风景、自然景色。字尾 scape 有景色的意思，像 cityscape 指的是城市景观、都市风景。另外，文中有2个用语可以学起来哦。Take in 在这里指的是欣赏、参观景色或者是景点。Bathe something in 指的是使某物沐浴在什么当中，笼罩在什么当中。好啦，以上是今天的讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。
A great time to visit Reykjavik is in the summer, when Iceland can get over 21 hours of daylight. Under such conditions, why not visit the popular locations during the night and avoid the crowds? Start your evening tour at Hallgrímskirkja, which is open until 9 p.m. from May to September. Named after a famous local poet, this impressive 75-meter-high church houses a giant organ that has over 5,000 pipes. Next, take a walk along the north coast of Reykjavik and check out 2 of the city's most famous landmarks. First, there is the Sun Voyager, an outdoor steel sculpture created by Jon Gunnar Arneson. This work of art resembles a Viking ship and was made to honor the sun. From there, head to the Harpa Concert Hall and be amazed by the structure's distinctive glass brick design. After you're finished sightseeing, take in the scenery of Iceland under the midnight sun. Just minutes away from the city center, the Grota Lighthouse is the perfect place to enjoy magical views of glacial ice sheets, endless oceans, and Reykjavik's urban landscape bathed in yellow, orange, and red light. With amazing sights, striking buildings, and neighboring nature, Reykjavik is a remarkable place. A trip to the Icelandic capital is truly unlike any other.
Fonglin Trail is a popular trail overlooking the East Rift Valley in Ji'an Township, Hualien. Fonglin Trail offers one of the best views of Hualien City. Several viewing platforms are located along the trail. These offer hikers a chance to rest and enjoy the great view. Many different kinds of plants can be seen along the trail. Maple trees are very common. In late autumn, some of the trees' leaves change to a beautiful red color. People come here during the evening time to see Hualien City light up in the valley below. For the best panoramic view of Hualien, be sure to head to Fonglin Trail.
See you next time!